Hey guys, hey, it's me, Jimmy Lou from the Messy Craft Corner. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, 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 welcome. If you are watching the live on Facebook, welcome. If you're watching a replay, either here or on YouTube, just let me know that you're watching a replay. And if you have any questions at all during the process, you can put it in the comments, and I will get back to you just as quickly as possible. It is Bee Junk Journal Day. We've been talking about doing a junk journal for a little while over on my Facebook page, and so today was the day. Today is March 2nd. I can't believe we're in March already. So good morning as you're getting here. And we're going to get cracking as soon as we get a couple more eyes in here. So this is a previously, if you're watching a replay or watching a previously recorded video on Facebook. And that was probably not a good idea that just fell down, but we don't need it for today anyway. So good morning, Dawn. Good morning, Miss Molly. Good morning, Deborah. So I have some bee things that I wanted to kind of like showcase, show off to you, do all the things with. And we're going to have so much fun today. So how this is going to work is this morning it's 9 a.m. We're starting with our cover. Then we're going to take a break from our cover work while Jimmy Lou gets reset up at her sewing machine, because I have a cover sitting here. Oops. Sitting here, all finished and glued and ready to go to the sewing machine. So I'm going to show you how to sew on the cover. Now, that's a part of a journal that's entirely decorative, and it doesn't serve a purpose for the book itself. But if you wanted to have kind of a cool little look around the edges, on the inside, the outside, then that will be your session that you'll want to see. So lots of coffee. Yes, Kim. Lots of coffee for sure. But at this point, you guys should be kind of just watch and hang back, maybe during the breaks if you want to do your part of your book, then that would be fine. But if you're watching on the replay, you can take a break in between however long that you need to. I will be uploading all of the videos over on YouTube, so they'll be all on one playlist, and you won't have to look for different things. So it'll be fun, fun, fun. Okay, so this is the cover that we're going to work on. It is starting with an envelope. Now, if you have a flat rate post office mailing envelope that you want to upcycle, those make the perfect cover here, okay? But I don't have one, and I didn't want to use one that was not, because we don't pay for those, they're free, but I don't want everyone to rush the post office to take something and use it for something that it's not intended for. So I do have a couple of things that I wanted to show you ahead of time that you're going to see me working with that are not products that are available with the kit. There are, I think, 2 kits left. Only 2, you guys. Only 2 kits left. And that is the kit that will have this bee fabric in it. I am working on getting some other bee fabric or pretty fabric that would go in the centers, so that way you could still get a kit. It'd just be slightly different with the fabric. But it's going to be fun. So one thing you're going to see me using today is I have these cork pieces that are from close to my heart from more than a year ago. And I thought these will make some great decorative pieces. So you're going to see me using some of these. These are not in the kit, and they're not available for purchase any longer. Then I have all of my ephemera. Oh, I forgot something. Let me grab it really quick. It's right here, you guys. And that was ephemera books that I purchased ahead of time, and I did put the link to those on my page. If you're watching the replay over on YouTube, I'll put the links in the description of the video. But this is my ephemera bee pack that I bought some bee ephemera, and I made the file folder a while ago, and it has all this fun stuff in here. So we're going to be using this later on in the day for just different things. So if you don't have ephemera, I highly suggest you purchasing at least one of the books, because one of the books actually will give you quite a bit of ephemera. So this was from, I think, 1 or 2 books that I already had. But then the other day I got a book. It came, I showed it, and I saw you got a kit this morning, and it has all of these fun ephemera pieces in it that you're going to see me use throughout the day, including there's some really cool envelopes. There are some cool like tag pieces. This is a pocket piece. Here's another little envelope. Here's another little pocket. So this is the stuff that we're going to be using to kind of decorate with. Look at this pocket here. It's a corner pocket. And how fun of that. So wanting to use some of my paintings. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, it depends on how thick of a paper, Kim, that you use. I know a lot of people who use their jelly plates, and they make this really cool background paper. And we could have done that, but I honestly didn't think of it until just a minute ago. So, Sherry, we're just looking at a few things while we're waiting for some more friends to get here. And so 2 things. If you purchased the kit, you'll see that there were only 2 napkins on the kit. Oops. There was this one, and then there was this one. I have 3 other napkin bundles coming, and they'll be here today. So tonight over on the Shopify, you'll be able to purchase just napkins. So if you want just napkins, you can. Oh yeah, you can use watercolor for covers. Yeah, absolutely. You want to use them for in the inside pages. Watercolor paper is a little thick, but if you use just artist paper, it's not as thick. Okay, so the envelopes that come in your kit. So if you bought a kit, the envelopes that come in it are what are these? 13 by 9, I believe. Sorry, 10 by 13. They're a 10 by 13 envelope. Now, let me show you. My papers that go inside are only going to be 8.5, so it's going to have some space at the top and the bottom. But what we're actually going to do is we're going to sew our signatures a little lower, leaving the top for room for us to do some fun things, such as, you know, perhaps we could make that there's a bee sticking out like so. That would be part of the page, but it will stick out. So, and we're going to do some things along the edges with some pretty fabrics and some laces. So hopefully I made a little bit of sense and not too confusing. So you need to start with an envelope, and you need a piece of felt. Now, you're gonna see me. I'm using this hot pink felt, but I've done an actual like serious test of what will that look like behind my fabric. So here's the fabric. There's the pink. You can see it's not really showing through too much. Now, if I were going to use this bumblebee for the outside of the cover, you would be able to see the pink a little bit more like straight on. So what we're going to do is we're going to put felt onto the envelope to start for the outside. It's going to make it a little bit of cushiony. Other things that you can use if you don't have felt, but you have batting, like if you do quilting and you have batting, you could put batting on the opposite side. Maybe you have an old blanket that you just want to cut up and use for something, you can use that. So whatever it is that has a little bit of cush, okay? This actually doesn't have as much cush as I thought it was gonna, but hey, it is what it is. So I'm just cutting this the exact size as the envelope. So you can do any size journal really, with a lot of these techniques, just depending on how big your envelope. Envelope. I get busted all the time for saying envelope. But anyways, keep your lightweight fusible fleece. Absolutely. You bought the kit, Michelle. Awesome. So even if I save this piece, for a smaller journal, I could get a smaller journal out of this piece using some of my scraps and stuff. So don't be afraid to experiment with different sizes using the technique. So keep that in mind today. Some of you sent me pictures of the fabrics that you found or fabrics that you had. I think Kim at From My Corner had some very masculine fabrics that she wanted to use for this project. So yeah, you guys, let's see. We're going to trim this out. This is going to be the exact size. I think I left my pinking shears in the other room. So you want it to be even, because you don't want it to be all kind of wonkadoodle at the edge. If it has hangover, then you're going to have to trim it anyways. If it's smaller, then, you know, it's not going to be as cushed all the way around. So, when in doubt, go a little bigger and trim it later. So, there we go. There's our pieces of felt that are going to the scrap bin now. So, we're going to close this up. So, if you're using a used envelope, you just want to close it. You just want to get it all closed up and stuff. I know. I can't wait to see either. And at the end of the day, I'm going to make a post. And what I want to do is, if you make a book like this, I want you to post pictures, at least of your cover. So that way, I'm going to be doing a little prize giveaway for anyone who makes one. So you'll have a week. So don't be like panicked and thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to do it? Okay, so you can see this side there's nothing to this side. This side here, it has, you know, the folds and things like that. That's the side that I'm putting my felt onto. So we're going to use some pretty stinky glue, and I will tell you, the Fabri-Tac you cannot sew on the same day. You need to wait 24 hours for it to really settle in. So that way, hang on a second, my bracelet is coming unloosened. So that way, when you sew on it, your sewing machine needle isn't getting all gummed up, okay? You don't want a gummed up needle. So the one that you're going to see me sewing on is actually the one that I covered the other day. And it's been sitting there all ready to go. The glue is plenty enough dried, so when I sew on it, it might sound like if it hits a piece, like there's a piece of hard glue right here. If it hits a piece of hard glue, it might go kerclunk, but it's not going to gum up the needle and then gum up all my workings. So, all right. So what we want to do now, this is going to sound funny, but I'm using the backside of a spoon that is a takeout spoon. And I'm using it, we're going to spread the glue. Now, I used my fingers last week one day in a journal cover, and I ended up with my fingers being all split and everything. You don't have to sew. If I were not going to sew, if I was going to leave this one plain, I just wouldn't sew it. It just won't have that decorative kind of zigzag stitch. Okay? So you don't have to sew. You don't have to know how to sew. The only sewing you're going to have to know how to do is stitching in the signatures in the center, and that you just need a pokey tool and a big eye needle is what you need. So, how I did this. Now, you all do it however you want, but this is Fabri-Tac, and I like the use of the Fabri-Tac way better. So I just start and I spread it. Okay, getting it all the way out to the covers. Now, the reason I'm spreading it, ooh, got some on my work surface, is that then it won't look like zigzag pieces for, you know, that I just put it on like this, okay? Because it can show through on your fabric. Now, I didn't seem to find that problem so much with the felt, but I did find it with the fabric. So I do that. I put like a row of it on, and I get started. I get started by putting my felt on there, lining it up, getting it out to the edges before I press it down, just like so. Okay, so I press that on. You can use a paintbrush. You could use whatever. Now, if you're going to stamp, I just saw someone's comment about stamping. If you're going to stamp, you need to Now wait till I think of the name of the, let me put this on here. So if it drips in there. You're going to need archival ink because, you know, it'll just make a nice clearer cut on it. I just wanted to get that little bit of glue off of there. The signature are the pages that we're going to sew inside, Jeannie. So we're going to be making a grouping of papers that will all be folded, and then they'll get tucked inside and it'll be sewn in. So, yep, take all the notes you need to, ask all the questions that you need to. So oops, there wasn't enough glue underneath on the side over here. So what I do is I just start now and I just work across. I do like a row and then I pull it over. Then I do another row and I pull it over till I get all the way to the other side. Okay, so this glue bottle is almost empty and I should not even be using that one, because the stuff just isn't coming out fast enough. Now listen, if you're going to get into junk journals where you're using fabrics for the covers, you're going to need a lot of glue. This takes up a lot of glue. So make sure you get out to your edges. Work on a surface that's not like your antique dining room table. Okay. And get it good and spread out there. See, I got some more there. Get it good and spread out as evenly as you can, because you can get like some wrinkly kind of looks. Not so much with the felt. So I'm going to try not to send anybody a kit with pink felt in it. That's why I was using the pink. So just press it down. Teeny's here. Teeny, we're just gluing down some felt onto this is actually called, when I bought them at Walmart, they're actually called a magazine envelope, or there was another word for it. A catalog envelope. So I would definitely, you want to be looking for that size. That was like the perfect size. And then this was the bigger sheet of felt, and then we just cut it down. So you guys, there are 2 links in the description of this video. One link is for a kit. I think there are 2 kits left over there in the Shopify, and then there are the other thing is for, it's Ko-fi, Ko-fi, and that's where you can leave a tip. So if you like, you can go over there and it'll ask if you want to buy me a coffee. You can change the amount. I have it set for $5, but if you want to do less, you can do less. But today's lessons are free. Just letting you know that if you choose that you want to support me in that way, that you can. And that's actually a better support than Stars today, because Stars I have to wait for. Ko-fi is almost instantaneous. But again, the lessons today are free. So here we go. And I'm just using the back side of a takeout spoon, so I don't have to use my fingers. You can use, the kits are sold out. Oh, I did not see that before I came live. Okay. So what I'll ask then is, if anyone who wants a kit that didn't get one, you can message me and I'll put you on a waiting list. I am trying to get more of the fabric. I have the honeycomb fabric that I'm using on the outside. It's the bees on the inside that I'm having trouble getting. So I'm looking for a good alternative. And if I do find that, and you want to get a kit later on, it would be next week sometime. So I am getting glue on my glass mat, but that's okay, because hot soap and water with a little bit of a scraper will take all of that right off there. The spoon, the envelope is just paper. It's just a paper. Yep. It's just a paper. I know I haven't gotten to Hobby Lobby. I want to try to get there tomorrow, but I don't know if I can. Listen, my glue over here is just it's leaking out all over. And I don't like to waste anything. So let me just plug that up. All right. So once we get the felt glued down, we're going to do the exact same technique, but then we're going to be using that honeycomb fabric that I got at Walmart the other day. My Walmart did not have this bee fabric. So I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby tomorrow because I think I can get a pretty good alternative over there. I will tell you, this glue has a smell to it. If you are like allergic to smells or you can't stand a lot of strong smells, this glue may not be your glue because it really does have a strong smell. Yep, you can use a manila envelope. If you have, I have some of, you can use a manila envelope. You can use a shipper, something that comes from Amazon. All of those are acceptable, suitable uses for your guts, for your inside, okay? And basically, it's just giving us a form to sort of work with. It's giving us something to glue our stuff onto. And then it doesn't make a big bulky cover. So that's the style of journal I decided to teach you guys today. And we're going to be off and on all day. When I finish with one live, I will tell you what time the next live will start. So that way, you know, that's for if you're watching live on Facebook. If you're watching the replay on Facebook or on YouTube, let us know. Let us know. Hit that follow button or that subscribe button, and we'll all be happy campers. Yes, we will. Okay. So I'd like to do this on my glass mat. Here's why. Because did you hear it when I pulled it up? There's a link in the description. It's called KO-FI. Hang on. It's right here, and you can put in any amounts. And if you want to wait till the end of the day, that's fine too. Okay, so I'm working on this mat because if I work on newspaper and the glue gets on the newspaper, it'll get to the inside of the folder over here, and it'll make it it'll just make it difficult. So I'm going to trim this little bit of pink off over here. And then we're going to cover this just like we cover a lot of the covers you see me do. You're going to see me do it on here. So the important thing is for your felt to be the exact same size as your envelope, whatever envelope it is that you're using. Well, somebody just pinned that for me, so whoever did that, thank you so much. I actually will have to unpin it so I can read comments, but we'll put it in again later. So, let me just say, if you have a page and you do a book like this on your page, tag me, so that way I can come and check it out, hang out with you if I'm not busy, and that kind of thing. That's okay. What are you doing up? Angie from the Crafty Bunch by Rustic Daisies is extremely sick. She needs to go back to bed. Hopefully you're watching in bed. Okay, so this fabric here came from Walmart. And I know you can see a little bit of the pink through that, but it's not like in your face pink. I already did like a trial with it. I have this cut to the exact size for what I want it to be. And that is, it's 16 inches. And then it's by 16 inches by 13 inches. So 16 by 13. And we're going to glue this right to the center of the paper here. Now, this is where, like, sometimes you have fabric and it will come through. See here? I didn't have my glue spread evenly enough there, or here. It was a little thick, so then you can see it through the fabric. This fabric here has been really nice to work with. So let me just tell you, we're going to do the same thing. Now I'm using my spoon. I'm still using my spoon, and I'm doing the exact same technique. And we're going to get that fabric over top of the felt. So tell me in the comments, what's everybody been doing today? Now listen, this takes a little more spreading because the felt kind of eats it up. But it does work. I know, like, it looks like you're probably thinking, what in the name of everything that's good and holy is that woman doing? I am a professional. Okay, so we're going to put this on. Now, I like to start this one on top of like this. So that way I'm sure that I'm getting it in the right spot. So right like that. And then I can flip it over. I'm entertaining. Thanks, Robin. That was very nice of you to say. So we're just going to spread that down. Okay. Then, see, I can pull this back and I can work in sections like I did with the felt. Good morning, Michelle Hill. Miss Michelle's in the house. The Vintage Daisy. Okay, so just make sure you get to the edges. That's kind of the important, really important thing. I mean, it's important to get glue everywhere you need it to go. And like I said, I use a lot of glue when I do a cover this way. Okay, so let's have a little conversation. Who watches Chicago Fire? Anybody? Your grandson's coming. That's awesome. I just lay this down and we just work across this way. Now, a lot of places, listen, it had me crying this morning watching the replay from yesterday. Crying. Boo-hooing. So I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who maybe hasn't seen this week's episode. But listen, have your tissues handy if you haven't seen it yet. I watch all of the Chicagos too. They're like they're some of my favorites to watch. No, Melissa, it's not on Hulu anymore. I watch over on Peacock. There is not much that I watch on Hulu anymore. All of the shows that I liked to watch, all moved over to Peacock. So I watch more things over there. Plus they have live, like, you can watch the Waltons live. You can watch, not live, I mean, they're rerun lives, but there's a lot over there. Reba is on in the morning, if anybody's a fan of Reba. Sometimes I put that on just for the noise of it all. So press this over. Just like so. Now this is, I told you, this is a process. This is a process. I watch them on Peacock, that streaming service. I do have some things I still watch on Hulu, but I think Hulu kind of did it to themselves, you guys. I do. So you could watch 100 junk journalers, you guys. And 100 junk journalers you're gonna get probably 97, 98 different ways of how to do a fabric cover. So this is just my way. You like watching Jimmy Lou TV? Jimmy Lou Hulu. Jimmy Hulu. Okay, so even if you purchased a kit, which they're telling me are sold out, even if you purchased a kit, you still are going to need, as long as Hulu keeps playing The Rookie. Yeah, Peacock is NBC, but they used to contract it over to Hulu. But listen, Kim, Hulu started like charging a lot more to those companies, and I think that they just lost their sort of contract. So, hang on, I have a glue thing I'm trying to get off of there. So that is the nice thing about working with a spoon, is if you get something icky on there from your felt, you can just clean it off. And then just get moving. When it dries, it pulls right off. So I've been using the same spoon since I started with it. And again, this is just my way of doing it. If you have a better way or a better tool, I love to hear about it. Some Peacock is free, but I pay for my Peacock. I pay for my Peacock, but I get HBO with my phone plan. So if you watch some of your phone plans, you probably will maybe get some good streaming services. But yeah. Because I know Evie and Kevin get something else. Oh, they get Netflix with their streaming. So see, it was a little heavy right there, and it seeped right through. That's what I'm trying to avoid by using the spoon, but for some reason, but that's okay. That looks like it's going to be probably pretty near the center where the fold is going to be. And any of that kind of stuff we can cover up with flowers, with whatever. I'm teaching you technique. You got to bring your own, your ideas of the things. Okay, so some of it is technique. This is just a technique. If you got a different way of doing it, then you want to do it that way. Maybe it's an easier way. I watch a lot of Peacock too. A lot of my shows are over there. Like I said, I've been watching Night Court. That's been something that I've been watching. So that's on Peacock. I really like the Way Home. That's on Peacock. That is something I definitely, and I'm not sponsored by them. I don't make any money off of by telling you where I watch things. We're just having a little chat. What's your favorite thing to stream? Tell me in the comments. Something that you like to stream, whether when you're crafting or just when you're hanging out being lazy. Listen, this would have been a lazy kind of day for me because it is rainy and kind of icky outside. So, hello, Lydia. Yeah, The Way Home is a very good show. And it's, like I was saying yesterday, it's in my opinion, it's clean. So there's not a lot of, there hasn't been any, like, sexual scenes at all. So, which is good, in my opinion. I mean, now, if you like that hot, steamy stuff, you might want to get a different streaming service. But My Crafty Sisters? Really? I don't think I've ever seen that. The Cake Championships. Elizabeth likes to watch the cooking show things. So, all right, we're coming down to the last of this. Few appointments, yes. I don't know if HGTV wants to pick me up for, whatever, my messy craft life. Come on, bring it. You can reach me at themessycraftcorner@gmail.com. They probably would message me, and you know what would happen, you guys? I would think it was a scam. Oh, you... I thought it was some show on HGTV. Oh, well. All right, so just press this all down. Now you can see where, I think my spoon, when I swiped it, I think it swiped onto the fabric and not on the felt, and I think that's what happened there. So make sure you spread it out real good. I take a couple of... Now I know some ladies who have these big spatula things, and they do that with it, but your hands will work just as good. Now, if you work in sections like I did, you're still going to have the smell of it, let me tell you. But you're not going to get wrinkles in it. So you can see on this one, I did pretty good at not getting any wrinkles. Press your fabric. That's a good idea. Yeah, you can use a spray adhesive. That would probably work a lot faster. I just don't know how that works. as far as like the long-term bookmaking kind of quality, where I know the Fabri-Tac is going to hold for like ever. Days of our lives. Okay, I am going to miter cut my corners. Now, some ladies do this. They do this fold, and then they kind of do a fold like this, and then they bring in their fabric like so. But let me tell you, that makes one heck of a bulk in the corner. So I just miter cut just like I do my paper. So if you're making a book cover and you're deciding that you don't want to cover it with fabric, but you want to cover it with paper, then get your folder, cover it with paper, and do exactly what this step here that I'm doing now. So this step here is called a miter cut, and I'm just miter cutting my corners. And you know what? I left my, I'm going to have to go grab my, oh, I don't need it for this part because this part gets covered up. But I have these scissors that cut waves, and I really like them. So I'm going to use those for my interior piece like I did here. Whew. Let me smell my peppermint. I'm about to have a hot flash. I can feel it coming. Woo! It's not that I don't still get them. The peppermint helps a lot, but occasionally I still get those hot flashes. So I also know some people who take their fabric and they lay it like this so that when they do wrap it, it makes sure to get those corners. But if you leave a little extra fabric overhang during those miters, like I did just there, you're not going to show it too much. So, whew, all right, back to the spoon, because I like how nice and neat the spoon glides it on there. Hello, Terry. Hello, welcome. Glad you're here. Okay. So this part, I do like to make sure that if there's anything felt residue on there, that I like to try and get it off the spoon. Just because I don't want it to show up in places where I don't want it to be. So we're going to add some glue. Just like so. Now, those of you who are here who are experienced junk journalers like Teeny and some of you other ladies, tell me how you do it. Tell me how, do you do it this way? Do you just, I know one lady, she doesn't put any glue down at all. She just takes it right on over to the sewing machine and off she goes. And I think to myself, oh, sweet Lord, how could I ever do that? Also, somebody made a suggestion about the sewing, the adhesive. I can't spray it in the house because of the open flames. I did put felt under the outside of the because I wanted the cover on the outside to just be a little bit cushioned. Okay. But if you're using an old bubble mailer, you know, you probably don't even need the felt. But with these, I felt like I needed it. So we're just going to press this down just like so. And we're going to do the same thing on all four sides. You're welcome. And then the method that I used on the outside with the little bit of glue and then working across, that's exactly how we're going to do the inside as well. So, and I can see, like, I have control over this. I can see it's way better than using your fingers, you guys. I know the class that I taught the other day, last week, the intro to bookmaking, I used my finger and I was picking glue off for 2 days. No joke. So just flip that over and just give it a slide down. Give it a guide and sliding. Who takes it straight to the machine? I missed it. Your name snuck past too quickly. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, ladies. So glad that you're here. I know some people take it straight to their machines. And that's okay. All right, so just wrap it up and around and press that down. We might have to add a little glue here and there, but I don't think we're going to have to too much. Good morning, Kim. If you're just getting here, good morning. So, whew, Jimmy Lou is she's gonna need a detox after this. I'm telling you, anyone who's ever used this glue, you know exactly what I'm talking about too. Yep, the silicone brushes work really good for this. So, let me see this corner up here. So make sure I get it good and tight. Good and tight. So just like so. I'm just going to press this down. Oops. Glue stick. Just like so. Okay, so next we're going to be using my Bee Interior fabric, which I have cut fancy on 3 sides. And what ends up happening to me is I start it where I want it to be, and then I end up with a little overhang. So then I'll cut this with my miter scissors. Yeah. Hang on, let me show you what pair I have. I got this wavy pair for using in the Reader's Digest class, and they cut very nicely, but they cut this wave instead of the zigzag. So you can use a straight scissor too, it doesn't matter. But for this part, you know, it's going to fray a little bit, but I think it adds to the character. Awesome! Okay, so we're going to work, again, I'm working left to right because that's how I read, so that's how I work, but we're going to start with not right at the edge, but close to the edge. We're going to add a little bit of glue, and then we're just going to do the same. I'm using the same technique of glue and moving. When I get to the end down here, I'm going to have to use my fancy cutting scissors, and I'm going to have to fancy cut that, okay? All right. Here we go. Like I said, I do use a lot of this, of this Fabri-Tac for this project. So if you don't have a brand new bottle, you might want to get a brand new bottle just so you have it. So yeah, you do use a lot more fabric than you do paper. Yep, and you use a lot more glue than using paper. Okay, so that's spread pretty good. And we're going to start with this. Now I'm going to come back around and check because I might have to add a little bit of glue at the edges, like the corners right there. Like right there, that's just needs a trim. Just give it a little haircut. But I'll have to come back and check my corners. That's always a good idea. Oh, really? That's odd. Now I don't cut this yet because there could be, well, I'm smoothing it and I'm going across, you can do whatever. Now I will tell you, if you're using a mailer that has anything, I don't know. I have not found a fabric glue that doesn't smell. Maybe some of the other ladies will know. If you have it that it has any kind of writing on it, you want to paint it. Just a clear acrylic, or not clear acrylic, a white acrylic paint will work okay. Hello, MJ. We're working on a bee junk journal is what we're working on. I am taking over the craft world with all of this paper crafting, and all of my crafting sisters are all starting to want to do the junk journals and stuff, and that's great. That's great. We should all learn something new. Whether it be painting or working with clay and molds or learning to make paper crafts and junk journals, you know, whatever. Now, I'm not going all the way out to the edge because if I do, I'm going to have too much glue around where my decorative paper is going to be. So be cautious of that. Be mindful because it's better to have to come back and tack it down, in my opinion. So just press it down, then I pull it back and I work another section. Okay. Anyone have any suggestions? Anyone want to say anything about glues or doing this type of cover. What do you think? Do you think this is something? I'm trying to show you something that's easier. So tell me in the comments, do you think this is something that's a little easier, or are you going, oh Lord, I couldn't do this either? What is this woman showing us? Tell me, because I like to know. I think anyone can do it. It takes practice. It does. And maybe your first cover might not look so swell. Then again, maybe you're just one of those people that when you put your hands to it, it goes amazing for you. So now you can see my cutting abilities for straight cutting are not that swell. But that's a me thing. When I sent the kits out, I cut everything a little bigger so you could maybe, if you have a rotary cutter, that's what I need. I need to get a mat and a rotary. I have a rotary cutter, but I need to get a mat to do it with so I can start cutting a little straighter. Yeah, with a little effort, everyone can do it. Yeah, I believe that. Listen, I didn't just wake up one day and start making fabulous books, okay? It took a bit. And it will take a bit, and there'll be things that you try and you go, oh no, and you throw it away. Because I did. Some of the first books I sold, listen, I wish I had them back so I could sell that person a better quality book. But, you know, you learn. And as the more you do, the more you learn. Don't put those on there. The more you learn, the better you get at it. So just keep that in mind. But you can see even on this one, like my cuts were not as straight as I would like them. But it's okay because, listen, this is the front half. This is the back half. If it's a little off, I'll just make a pocket. Everything is fixable. Giselle's in the house. Hello, Miss Giselle. If you did not get a kit because they're telling me the kits are sold out, but you wanted one, send me a private message here at the page and ask to get put on a waiting list. I'm going to try tomorrow to get to Hobby Lobby. I'm doing a live in the morning over at the Crafty Bunch by Rustic Daisies because she's very sick, you guys. And she has helped me so many times when I was sick. And she's trying to get 600,000 minutes viewed, the same as I am. So I'm going to help her out tomorrow morning. So if you want to watch tomorrow morning, you'll have to catch me over there. I'm missing so many comments. Simply Bewitching, you could do it. I have faith in you. I have faith in all of you ladies. I think you could all do it if you try really hard. But don't ask me to make any dresses. Because that probably is not happening. So. And somebody's going to message me and say, you make that so much harder than it needs to be. And I probably do. But this is what works for me. And honestly, I find this part really calming. Maybe you guys don't. This part, I don't. Maybe it's the glue talking. But, yeah, Lydia, you could do this. Hey, if you were willing to try to make a purse journal live, you could do this easily. So, just, if you have a page and you do one, tag me in it so I can come watch. Okay, so see where I'm at now? This is a good place for me to cut because I'm right near the edge. I have one more row of what I'm going to do. So, I'm going to use the edge of the book as my guide, and we're just going to trim this off. Okay, so these are pinking shear that are a wave. And I really like them. Listen, I still am not a straight cutter, but I didn't do too bad there. I don't think anyways. I didn't do too terrible. All right, so let's get the last of our glue on here. I have a mix between this glue and the peppermint going on in my head right now. Yeah, you can have fun making it. And you know what? And then you learn from your mistakes. And I'll tell you, I get a lot of ladies who send me a private message and say, what did I do wrong? And I help them. So if you have something like that and you go, oh man, I just don't even know what I did. Can you help me out? Can you help me troubleshoot it? Yeah, absolutely, because that's how you learn. You learn by making mistakes. And I made a lot of mistakes. The very first book that I made one for Elizabeth. And about a year after she had it, she brought it to me and she goes, Mom, this is like all coming apart. I mean, it was bad coming apart, you guys. Okay, so there we go. Look at how nice that looks. Yay, go me. Go me, go me, go me. So after I get that done, I just go like along the edge, and anywhere where I have a little bit of area that needs tacked down, I just grab a little glue and tack it. Especially your corners, that's where you're going to find the most of your spot that you need to tack. Sometimes you're just good and you don't need to tack anything down, but usually along your edges sometimes get really like lifty. It's like that one. It's like using a bra, a lift bra. You got to use it right or it's not lifting nothing. Yeah, I love this material too. Yeah, listen, this cost me a Chinese dinner. I'm just saying. I won on all aspects of that. Oh, the sun's coming out here in Pennsylvania. So then all you do to make this a book cover is to fold it in half. So I just fold it and press it down in the center. Okay? Just like so. I press it. Okay? And now we have a book cover. And yes, I know this is like blotchy there, but that's okay because we can add some fun ephemera pieces to it. There's a lot we can do there. So if I do this one this way, I can do a pocket right here, and that will be fun. So let me show you if I'm going to do a pocket. Oh man, I had that laid out. What did I do with it? There's several different things you can use for pockets, okay? And lately I've been seeing a lot over on YouTube and TikTok using this fantastic fabric, laces, to create pockets. So look it. I can create a pocket inside this cover just by tacking this down on 3 sides. And then when I take it to the sewing machine, I can zip, 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 and it'll be in place. If you don't want to sew, I don't want to sew in the center part of my pocket here. So I'll wait and add this as an add-on. But these pockets then are perfect for tags and different things. And look at how pretty that will look. That'll look really pretty. So I have this one out and then I have this one out. And Michelle, over at the Vintage Daisy, she sent me both. And I really like this one. I thought this one would make a great belly band. So we might be adding a belly band to the back side of the journal. And because we could do it either way. We could do it this way to tuck things in. Or we could do it this way. And then we also we can add this as a pocket. I really love this though for that pocket-like material. So tell me what you think. Yeah, I know. And I think the lace is just going to look really, really pretty. I need to trim it up some, but it's going to look really pretty for what I want to do. And we're going to make some tags and stuff today that are going to fit down inside of there. So what are you guys thinking? It took me an hour to do the cover. So you got to figure it's going to take me a little more than an hour because we have to sew on it. So this is my wet one. This one I'm going to leave here in the craft room because I'm not going to sew on this one today. I'm going to let it be. We're going to let it be. This is the one that we're going to add the stitching to later today. So I'm probably going to do the stitching, that this will be the front because a couple of things. The bottom edge here has that. I left it because I was trying to get the most out of the material to get you guys your your whatever. But even this lace will be very pretty as a pocket. Can you see that? I know, I'm loving this too. So I was leaning towards the bright colors, and then all of a sudden I was like, nope, let's go vintage. So we're doing some vintage things. So let's talk about some things that you might want to stitch on. we're going to do the stitching, not right after, not as soon as I'm done here. We're going to take a break, a little coffee break, a potty break, a breakfast break, whatever it is that you want to call it. And then when you come back, you're going to see my face and the sewing machine. And we're going to stitch all around the outside of this cover. We're just going to do a zigzag stitch. And it's going to look a lot like what's around my edging here. We're just going to stitch it straight around. Zip, 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 zip. And then, but what other things can you think of that you might want to sew on? Things that you might want to add like an edge to, or some lace to, or something. So think about that for a second, because I'm about to pull some stuff out here. Oh my goodness, what a mess. I have a tangle. So, you know, we have some pretty laces that maybe we might want to add to our pieces that are going to go inside our junk journal for our signatures. So I have like these, you'll get 5 sheets of this paper. I get this from Amazon. It's a lightweight paper, but it's not a thin paper, which I really like. So maybe I want to fold this in half, and when I get to the sewing machine, I say to myself, oh, I think I want to sew on the edge of this, because look at, when it's sewn in there, it's got a lot of room. We got a lot of room. We got room on the top. We got room on the sides. So you're going to see me at the sewing machine using some lace, and we're going to stitch some lace onto the edge of one of these papers so you can see how it looks with the stitching on the paper. This paper here came from Amazon, but they tell me you can get it on Temu. I don't really know the difference between whether you can or you can't, but this came from Amazon, and I had extra for this. But here's some pretty trim work. This also would look really cute stitched on there. So these things are coming to the sewing machine with me. Okay, those things with these papers, because these papers are going to be used in the junk journal. Now in the kit also, I sent along 1 sheet of, I call it mystery bee paper. So it could be any of these with the bees on it that you see, because these you can use in your journals. But listen, I think I'm going to pull one out. Let's do the black one. I'm not really much of a dark kind of person, but let's pull this black one. Don't worry, it's 8 by 8 paper, so when you fold it in half, it's only going to be 4 inches. Let me just trim the edge off of this. And I'm just kind of showing you like some of the things you're getting in your kit and what you can do with those. And then we're going to make, oops, sorry guys. Then we're going to make something with it. So here's 8 inches. Just like so. Keep all of your scraps, because I'm going to be putting together a masterboard. So that's 8 inches, and then this is by 8.5. So if I fold this in half, I'm getting a 4 1/4 inch piece like this. That'll get sewn into a signature. Now, my biggest piece of signature paper is going to be this size, which is 5.5. But look at how cool this will look sewn into the signature like so. Then you can do some things like you can stitch lace. And even if you have like scrap lace will work. But you can stitch some lace along the edge there, and it will be just fine. So I'm going to be showing you some of those kind of things too. I'm not exactly sure. It's supposed to be 8 by 8 paper. I could destroy the book. Really, I could. You know, if I pull the cover off, it definitely will make getting the paper easier. And let me show you something I do. All the books have this like blank sheet of paper that has absolutely nothing on it. I just take this, I trim off the rough edge. I don't like the rough edge. And then you can use this as your master board. So throughout the day, you're going to see me adding some things to it. So all you got to do is just use a glue stick. And, yeah, warning, addictive. Absolutely. And the ideas will sometimes just flow right out. So I just line that with some glue and I just place it down onto the paper like so. And then you can create a masterboard using scraps. So you're going to see me doing that today. Because then you can use your masterboard paper to make tags or journaling cards. The back side of this is completely white. The only thing that's showing on this is this part here. So, you know, keep that in mind that, in fact, this book has 2 sheets of it. You could stamp on this and create a whole nother sheet. This back here, you can fussy cut out the B's. You could actually cut these down into tags. So look at, if I want to, I can trim this off like so. Okay. And then like so. And this is how you really get the most out of your like junk journal experience, okay? If I trim this down like so, now I have a piece of like heavier weight paper, and you can glue other paper to the back side of it. You can take 2, you can glue 2 together. So, you know, let's do that. Let's grab this one over here. And like so. How big was that? 4 1/4, I think. And it's 4 1/8. That's okay. We'll just scoot it down there. And then we have these 2 pieces. We can, oh, it was a little skinnier too. We can glue these 2 pieces together to create a tag. So let's do that. And then this is something, you can sew this onto a signature as well. But you can also make something extra on this. Why is this all clogged up again? So if I glue this onto here, just like so. Just like so. Okay, who's ready to create something for inside our book? Because there's something I want to create for the inside of the book that I want to take to the sewing machine and sew. So we're going to just, or actually there's 2 things that I want to create. So now I have just like a tag or a bookmarker. You can add some extra things to it if you want. We can punch a hole in it. We can round the corners. There's a lot of things we can do with it. So don't be afraid to use the extras that are in here. I mean, look at this alone. If I trim off this part here, that is that, you know, the barcode thing. We now have a piece that is 4 3/4 by, if we trim this off, we'll have it by 8. And you have the whole back side. You could collage on it if you want. You could ink it, leave it plain, whatever you want to do to the back side of this. But you can cut this with 2 angles and make a big tag out of it as well. So all I got to do is nip it this way, flip this over to this side over here, nip this off right here. Grab my hole punch. So if you get one of these books, yep, you could make a tuck spot out of your circle. There's a lot of things you could do. So let's just move that in a little bit. Just like so. And then, hang on a second. I have my eyelets. I have some beautiful gold eyelets here. That we can add an eyelet here in the center. So you just set your eyelet using your tool. It came from Amazon. There was a link on my page. I'll get another link and put it in for you guys. But so there we go. Now I have a tag. This can be a journal. Remember I said about putting a belly band? This would slip nicely into a belly band. And look at how cute that is. And then you could use some of that lace, wherever I stuck it. I stuck it here somewhere, you guys. Because I said about taking it to the sewing machine. And now I've lost it. That's typical Jimmy Lou. Some thinner lace. There is this brown. we'll use this. And stick it on through. Hold on. Gotta use my old lady eyes to grab it. Stick it on through. This lace is really pretty. And then just pull it through, just like that. And I have just something cute. And you could actually take this to your sewing machine and you could stitch all around the edges of this if you wanted to. Entirely up to you. So these scrap pieces are all things that will keep, that I glued together, because we have a master board we're going to work on. So make sure to keep your scraps for that, okay? So the next thing I want to do to show you is we have been working on those little notebook pieces. And I have one started here. I think I lost my corner. Here it is. I have one started here, but I pulled out some of that honeycomb paper, just like so. Because the other day, Teeny, when she accepted the challenge, she ended up leaving the tab part on her notebook, or on her book, and I really liked that. So hang on one second. I have to grab my book paper. And again, I'm working on things I'm taking to the sewing machine. I really only want to take one trip to my sewing machine because I don't really like it all that much, but it is what it is. So here's some old book page that we can use for this. And I think I want to, whoops, go the right direction, Jimmy Lou. We're going to put this underneath is what we're going to do. So we're going to make this kind of our base. And we have this. With this, that you have that book page kind of showing through. So let me just trim this off here and here, because I don't like that white space. The white space bugs me. Okay, so here we go. This will go on here like so, just like so, so. We are going to use white paper for the inside here. So I just have white tablet paper. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just pulling out 10 sheets. 10 sheets of paper. For we're going to make a little Melissa Lindsay, you have to send me a message, and when you send me that message, then I'll invoice you. Once your invoice is paid, then I give you the code to get in, or the link to get in. So I'm cutting this paper down to 4.5. Now let me tell you, even this paper is good for master boards. Okay, so we're going to take this. And we're going to put this. I already have this all inked up, you guys. And this paper is going right in here like so. Just like so. So. You could add more paper if you want to. And instead of doing brads, we're going to do an eyelets today. So we're going to add this to this, to this, to this. Okay, just like so. We're going to add some paper up there. What do I want to add up there? Okay, everybody's getting some of this paper. It is a mulberry paper that has fibers in it. This is really nice stuff, especially for like the tearing process. So, we're just going to tear a piece off. And I'm going to tear that off. And we're going to tear this off. And I love this fiber paper. This I got from Amazon. Everyone who orders a kit will get some of this paper. But look at the beautiful like pressed flowers that are in there. This is an extra for in the book. This will go into the book either in a pocket or in a belly band or somewhere, Miss Ruth. This is going somewhere in in our book. So you can make one out of a file folder, or you can make one just out of paper. You don't have to make a little tablet at all if you don't want to. Entirely up to you guys. All right, so we're going to add some glue up at the top up here. I still have those book pages in there, or that writing paper in there. Okay. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to tap our paper to the top. And drop your stuff on the floor that you wanted to use, because that's important, Jimmy Lou. Okay, and we're going to set eyelets to hold it closed this time. And I'm going to use those beautiful gold eyelets that I have. Now, if you want to know how to make these, all it is a file folder. We're using the natural fold of the folder to create a tablet. And then we just put some book page in there. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to punch here. And we're going to punch here. Now we're just going to put those eyelets in there and set them up. So there's one. Here's two. Look at how cute. Yeah, and what I said on the list of things that you needed, I said I will give you a list, but I can't guarantee that everything is going to be on it. And I'm sorry that Manila file folder wasn't on it. You can use paper. You can use just cardstock that you have sitting around to make the same effect, okay? And if you need me to show you that later today, we can do one later today. But right now I want to get this done so the glue is all ready to go to go on the sewing machine. So I'm using stick glue for this because I am going to take it to the sewing machine. This folder itself is not going to be finished until after I do the cover on the sewing machine. So this is going on here like so. Okay. And then, so what I'm going to do when I sew it is I'm going to open it like so. And we're just going to do our stitching on here. What did I do there? So there we go. And then we're going to add this. Oops, wrong direction. This is going here. And here. And here. And all I did was I took my paper and I tore it. And then I scooted it over a bit and I tore some more. So that's how I did that. Let's just do a straight edge there. Okay. And again, I'm just using my stick glue for this. And some things today you're just going to have to roll with it, because sometimes when my creativity starts happening, stuff just gets pulled out and it's like, bazing, we're using this, or bazang, we're using that. So I tried to give you as an extensive list as I could, but you always will miss something. That's why I don't really like to give lists. I just like to create. But I can definitely show you how to make these using just plain paper if you like. Tell me in the comments who wants to see it made with just, because we can do it and not use a bee theme. And then this is going on there. And I really like how the wording and all is broken up. So this is the only part I'm doing, is this right here. Because this is going to go on the sewing machine. And we're just going to stitch around the edge here. And then when we come back and we decorate it after that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some things like this piece of fiber. I also didn't have on there like this kind of stuff, like the decorating kind of stuff, because it's stuff that like I have, but you can use what you have around your house. This is cheesecloth. If you don't have cheesecloth, but you have like some really pretty fabrics, you could do that. So we're going to add some things like that. And then I have, you know, this, we're going to use some of this. This also was not on that list, but look at this really cool, like beehive thing. This I want to be my focal point. Okay. That was one thing that I wanted to show you. the other thing I wanted to show you, and that is something that if you ordered a kit, you will get one. What did I do with it? Well, here's the book page I need for it. And this. Ruh-roh. What did I do? Oh, it slid underneath, you guys. And this. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I made a book page. And I'm including one in everyone's kit. So I just took a piece of book page. You know, if I tear from the back. No, that was the side that was tearing good. I don't know what happened. Now it'll tear better. So just what I did was I took a piece of book page, and you can leave it ripped, crummy, whatever you want to do there. I'm just going to trim it off. And there's that lace I was looking for, you guys. Found it. Okay. So what I did, and I can't find my sample. I had a sample, but that's okay. We can make another one. So I usually scan to make sure there's no dirty words on my piece, because who wants dirty words on their stuff? Not me. Unless it's about beekeeping. I don't really want it on there. And I did a couple of things. And again, this is just kind of like an extra that you can do to put in your book. But what I did was I took, this is from Tim Holtz, and then I grabbed some, this is the color Lemonade, which is a really pretty color. They don't make this color anymore, but I like it. And I just went over the book page with it, like so. Okay. So I did this. And what it's giving me is it's giving me the look of a honeycomb. Okay. And the reason I'm doing this right now is because I want to take this to my sewing machine. Now, if you get one in your kit, it's not going to be sewed on. I'm leaving it for up to you, because maybe some people don't want. Yeah, it would be a dirty journal. And there's not, I mean, some people want dirty journals. That's up to you. I am not a dirty journal person. Oops. Well, if it moves because it sticks to your finger, then just keep going. And so see, I have that look on there. Okay. Then I took a bee stencil and I lined it up right on my paper like so. Now, if you're getting a kit, you're getting one of these already in your kit. One that's made by me. Okay, so I just lined this up, and then I just did the brown right over top. Right over top. This is Tim Holtz, and the color is Gathered Twigs. I prefer Gathered Twigs over Vintage Photo. Vintage Photo is just a little lighter in color. Hello, Molly. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Mrs. Buckwalter. Hello to everyone who is here. I see Roberta Inscore here. I see a lot of you here. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my brush and we're just going to ink the edges. So you can get old dictionary paper to do this with. You can do all kinds. This is just going to be something extra we're going to use in the book later. And so I just went off the edge. And I'm not even worried about the other side, because the other side's going to get glued down. Good morning, DNS. So right off the edge. Now, there's one thing that I want to address. Okay? I am a messy crafter. There is no doubt about it. There are messes everywhere. I don't need anyone being a smart aleck on here saying that my desk is messy or other things regarding that. This is how I work. This is my process. I'm using this script stamp. This is my process. I pull things out, I throw them around, and I have them everywhere. I I had a little snafu accident yesterday. My stand fell over. No one saw it. Yeah, you could use this in your sewing book. My stand fell over. It knocked some glue down. I told the story on my live yesterday, and someone was smart alecky about it. Please don't be smart alecky about the way my room is. I know it's a mess. I don't need anyone telling me to clean it up. I have a husband for that, okay? So that's just a little piece of housekeeping. Most creatives are messy. We can't help it. Listen, when you start pulling things out for a book, things should get messy. Okay, so I just did that script in the twigs, and now we're going to do one last thing. Whoops. And that is, I have these letters that I got from Michaels. And here we go. Yeah, it's our creative minds, and it's my process. It's how I work. I work best when it's cluttery in here. So I'm just spelling out the word buzz and not Buzz Lightyear. I don't know exactly where everything is, but I have a pretty good handle on where my stuff is at. Yeah, be nice. That's all. So, and I think maybe it was meant in good intentions, but it didn't sound that way. It came across as mean. And I'm just giving 3 little exclamation points for the buzz. You can put whatever you want on there. I just liked the word buzz. I thought it was kind of cool. And this is going to follow us to the sewing machine. So I have this going to the sewing machine and this going to the sewing machine. Set this down here out my way. We also have some of our papers and some trims going to the sewing machine, as well as our bee book. Now, I am debating, you guys can help me out with this. I have this really pretty coffee dyed lace. This also is something that will come in the kit. And I'm thinking about, when I have it at the sewing machine, using this. It's gathered. That's the only thing that's bugging me, is it's a gathered lace. And I am not a gathered lace kind of gal. I am more of a straight lace kind of person. So I think what I'm going to do, while we're here on camera so you can see, is you can pull this apart. So I'm just using my scissors. Use a seam ripper if you want to. My table is clean because I came in here last night and I cleaned it off. And I put like a new, I used to years ago when I first started, put paper and stuff down. And I found this like wallpaper backdrop stuff at the dollar store. And I grabbed it. It looks like a, yeah, I know what it looks like. Oh, it looks like a wall, like a cement wall. I don't know. I don't think you can catch it. Yeah, you can catch it over here. I put that down on my work surface last night because I said to Larry, you know, I'm going to get messy with glues and stuff. I don't really want to mess my table up. So there we go. I think that's plenty. So when look at how cool that looks. So when I go to the sewing machine later with this, I'm probably going to add this edge on here like so, because I want it to be part of the book cover. So I probably am going to stitch that right on there. Okay. And then, I really like this part of it as well. So I'm probably going to do this. We're probably going to stitch this down. And then we're going to stitch this over the top of it. Or I might glue this down. I might glue this along the edge. Like do the stitching. And then we'll add this somewhere. Because I really like how that looks together. You like that look? So I think this junk journal is going to have that lace border. Now, if you bought a kit, you'll be getting some of this special coffee dyed lace that come from me. So what time is it? Okay, it is 10:26. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get everything set up. And at 11 o'clock, I'm going to come back on live. And we are going to stitch. We're going to be at the sewing machine. You don't have to sew your cover. You can glue. Okay, you can add glue, you can glue the lace on, you can do your cover just like this and not do anything else except for when we get to the decorating part. Now, I will tell you, find yourself some flowers. I have not pulled out my flower bin. Find yourself some flowers to go on your cover, because we're going to be doing flowers. I also have, and let me tell you, any supplies that I have that you see me pull out, if you think, oh, gee, I'd like to have some of that, if you message me, if I have extra, I don't mind, like, just cover my cost, you know, my cost for whatever. Oh, here's this. I forgot I had this in there. Woohoo, pretty doily lacy. It's a heart shape. I have these ladybugs and bumblebees that are little wooden flatbacks. And so I'm going to be using this probably on my cover somewhere. It depends. So you guys want to get some, oh, there's where that is too. See, sometimes you do find things when you're in the oddest places. So we are going to add some pretty things too that are not on that list. So please forgive me if I didn't give everything that I'm using. But, you know, again, I'm pulling stuff out and I'm going, oh, yeah, I have this. Or, oh, yeah, I'm going to do that. So this is going to get lace on the cover and stitching. These I'm going to show you how to sew on paper and add some lace trims or some... there's rickrack. There's rickrack that you could use if you want to along the edge of your papers. You don't have to do all your paper. I'm only going to show you 3 pieces. Okay, so that's going to the sewing machine. This we're going to stitch completely around the edge. I did have kits. They're telling me, Lydia, that the kits are sold out. I don't know if it's true or not. This is also going to the sewing machine, and we're going to stitch around the edge here and maybe some, you know, in here somewhere. I don't know. We'll see how it feels when we get there. So this is also going in. This bundle here is coming to the sewing machine. So you guys meet me at the sewing machine at 11 o'clock. Get yourself a drink, go to the bathroom, do all the things. And then after the sewing machine process, we're going to take a break again. And so that I can come back here and get everything set up in here for you guys. And then that's when we're going to add our signatures. Stay tuned. A lot of fun stuff is coming, you guys. A lot. So I will see you in about a half an hour. And I hope you all have a good day. Remember to always be kind because you never know what someone's going through. And I'll see you all real soon.